Hi, my name is Andrew Dohn, and I'm doing my first speech for Fundamentals of Public Speaking for NDSCS online. Um, and here's my speech. Uh, just to get things started, I'd like to talk a little bit about my background and how I first decided to go to school for the culinary arts. It all started with my grandmother when I was about 10 years old, and I remember watching my grandmother cook Sunday meals for my family, which was about 6 people, and she did this till the day she died. And I will always remember that special feeling that I got when we all sat down and were a family, and we didn't have a care in the world. After every meal, my mother and my grandmother always made homemade noodles. My grandmother was a bit old-fashioned and believed that men couldn't cook at all. So after being yelled at for messing around in the kitchen, I learned just to sit by and watch. Growing up, we only had 3 TV channels, and they were NBC, ABC, and PBS. So after every Saturday morning cartoon was finished, I would make my way into the living room where my mom would be watching cooking shows on PBS. So I sat and I watched cooking shows all day with her. My favorite chef would have to be Julia Childs, who actually is a part of my inspiration to become a chef, because she succeeded where others thought that she would fail. One of my favorite quotes is, "Find something you're interested in and keep tremendously interested in it," which I like to think that I have applied to my life. For example, I love finding old recipes and putting my own personal twist on it. Anyways, school kind of whizzed by, and I graduated high school, and I moved out of my parents' house thinking that I was grown up and didn't need their help anymore. A year went by, and I still hadn't gone to college because I had no clue what I wanted to go for, and it looked like I wasn't going at all. Until my best friend Spencer broke the news that he was going to school for cooking. After him and I talked about it for a while, something in my head just clicked, and I knew what I was born to do. The next day I was enrolled in college for the culinary arts program. Well, that was 3 years ago, and now I'm working on my restaurant management degree, and I have had some amazing experiences that most people have never experienced before in their life. For instance, I have had to try many bizarre foods, like boiled cow tongue, caviar, candied bacon, and many more. I've also eaten at 5-star restaurants in Minneapolis, like Bank and La Bella Vie. I've even fed hundreds of people before most people even think about getting out of the bed in the morning. I still remember my first day of class. I was so worried because I didn't know a thing about cooking at all. I didn't even know how to boil water properly. Even though I had watched all of these culinary wonders happen at home, I never actually had a chance to cook for myself. Even when I lived for myself by that 1 year, all I lived on was ramen noodles and instant mac and cheese. But when I met all my classmates and realized I wasn't the only one who was worried about looking like a moron, I felt relief. My instructor saw that I was worried and started me off with the basics, like the knife cuts and sautéing food. And now look at me, a couple grease fires and burnt food items later, and now I can cook 5-star meals. This summer I had the pleasure of working at Medora, North Dakota, at the newly renovated hotel. It was a huge change from the little burger shack that I worked at in Wahpeton to a fancier restaurant with higher expectations of me. It was a definite shock and quite the experience. I had to work with cooks from around the world, and I definitely made some lifetime connections. With school came the expansion of my family, so to speak. My classmates and I spent quite a bit of time together in the kitchen, and we shared a lot of the same blood, tears, and laughs. I am proud to say that I am in constant contact with all 11 members of my class, even though I'm the only one doing a third-year option. One of my favorite memories from my culinary family was when we did a project that was our own restaurant. It really showed all of us how we came from bumbling culinary idiots to masters of the knife. Soon after I graduate, I'd like to work at a 5-star restaurant in Minneapolis for a couple years gaining experience, which is gold in my field. After doing this, I hope to open up my own restaurant in a smaller town, which will become a home-style restaurant serving food that's classic with a twist. I have to laugh when I meet new people because it's the same questions every time. What's your favorite food to cook? And honestly, I can say that I don't have one. Where most people flinch at a food experience, I see an opportunity to try something new. My personal motto is, how can you hate something if you haven't tried it first? In short, I love cooking, and it's been my life, and I've had many a memory in the kitchen, and I've also made some amazing friends. Before I was embarrassed to call myself a cook, but now I am proud to announce it. Thank you.